593 to 587. 593 to 587, do you copy? You don't? Well, why can't I get this radio to connect to another radio? The very first thing that you need to know is exactly what type of radio you're using. This right here is a GMRS radio, the Aolence HA1G from Redivus. And as the G implies, this is a GMRS radio, meaning it can talk to walkie-talkies or other GMRS radios. So knowing exactly what kind of frequency your radio is using is extremely important. You will not hear them if you're not on the same frequency. As you see, I have channel 1 right here, and I have channel 16 right here. No matter how many times I actually try to use this to talk to that, it's never going to work, no matter how many times I try it. And that is because the frequencies do not work. For example, this is a handheld CB radio. This operates on the 27 megahertz band, whilst the GMRS operates on the 462 megahertz. It's a very big difference, meaning this will never be able to talk to a GMRS handheld. And speaking of the frequencies, something else to remember is offsets and things such as, if you have a frequency offset of, let's say, 5 megahertz in the positive direction, well, if I'm talking to you in 462 megahertz and you're talking to me in 467 megahertz, we will never hear each other. So make sure that you have either no offset or the same offset. Another reason why you may not be able to actually reach each other is something called a PL tone or a CTCSS or DCS tone. If you look and see, I am on GMRS or FRS channel 1, also known as walkie-talkie channel 1. There are people talking, but I cannot hear them. It's not even coming through the speaker at all, but you can see I have a receiving light. Well, why is that? Well, that is because of your PL or CTCSS tones. See, if you go into them, you can see that there is, I think, roughly 100 or 200 different tones that you could flip through and choose so that you don't hear specific people. If you switch it from a tone to none, you will hear everybody. Just like that. And now I can hear all the pesky kids running around. Now, if you don't want to hear all those kids running around, well, flip that PL tone on and have somebody that you're talking to go to the same PL tone that you have receiving on. That way, you only hear each other. And finally, there is, of course, the power and height restrictions that come with talking on radio. You see, especially with UHF and VHF, the higher up you are, the further you talk. Which also means that power, while it is important, is not the biggest one at play as much as it is with HF. Especially a lot of people who come from a CB background think that just chucking more power into your radio is going to make it inherently talk further. Well, VHF and UHF, especially GMRS, is very line of sight communication. So if you have a repeater that is 1,000 feet up on a tower, it's going to talk for maybe 100 miles or more. Meanwhile, you're only going to see a mile or two if you're on the ground with one of these. So if you're desperately trying to reach somebody and you're using one of these, get up high, climb a tree, get on the roof or something along those lines. It'll help your chances of reaching them immensely. And turning your power from low to high never hurt.